right, this is, I am Sue Schragi.
I'm Tim Milligan.
And today is July 27th, 2014. And we are sitting in the Shanty talking about our life in Mount Calvary.
When were you born, Sue?
I was born March 2nd, 1957, and I was born and raised in Mount Calvary my entire life.
I was born in 1953, June 17th, but I am a city kid. I was born in Fond du Lac, one of 8 kids, so I'm a city kid coming out to Mount Calvary to live with Susie, my wife. I've lived here longer with Susie than I did when I was growing up.
This is true. And we have lived probably on the farm that was built by my great-great-grandparents, Johann Steffes originally, and my mother Ethel Steffes Schragi lived at. And it was built in 1865, and it is a log cabin home, and they farmed there. Of course, they came from Germany, settled there, and we have lived in that house all the time we've been married. My mother lived in that house when she was young. So we have taken over the farm area from family. So it is quite generational as far as how long it's been in the family. We do live about a mile from Louis and Ethel Schragi, which was my parents. My father, Louis, has passed away, but my mother is still alive, and she is 88 at this point, and very knowledgeable about what went on in this community.
What do you remember about your childhood? Did you spend a lot of time at the Steffes homestead where we live now? Or?
Oh, extremely. Spent a lot of time at the farm doing tractor work, but we weren't allowed to do a whole lot because August Steffes wouldn't allow us to do that. Because he didn't want any of the kids to ever get hurt, so
okay, it wasn't because you're female.
No, I don't think so. No, okay. Grandma Frances was never. She was she was pretty female, headstrong.
She was an independent woman.
She was an independent woman.
Yes.
She started some Red Cross, the Bloodmobile, in her time. Probably a pioneer.
Originally a school teacher.
Had to give that up. She worked actually in Malone and used to take the horse and buggy there, but she had to give that up when she got married. And then
you couldn't teach when you were married.
Couldn't teach at that time when you were married. So then she got married and had to give her school teaching up. But
we're talking Grandma Frances.
Grandma Frances.
And she was a Pickard.
She was a Pickard.
Yes.
And then I also
1895 was her birth date.
1895 was her birthday. Yes. I also have on the opposite side, on my Schragi side, I also have a very dominant grandmother, Rose Fritz Schragi, who took over her oil business, Schragi Oil, because my grandfather died when my father was 11 years old. So my grandmother then had to run the business, and that probably wasn't an easy thing to do for a woman in that time period. So she took over the business until my dad did, and so she was a very dominant female figure. So I have 2 female dominant figures in my life growing up. Of course, everybody went to school at the Catholic school, Holy Cross,
okay.
Until probably my later senior, my 6th grade, I think. 6th grade, then it went to the consolidation, where they consolidated the communities together to school. Otherwise, it was just a single schoolhouse. My brother, Daniel, went to the Springs, and my sister Phyllis went to the Springs, but I went to New Holstein.
Did you find work after going to a high school like New Holstein?
Yes, of course.
Did.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised.
I'm a nurse.
You are.
And so I didn't leave this area, probably because there's a strong community home time. And of course, we stayed here, and of course it was easy because our 2 children, Colleen, who was born in July 31st in 1982, and then Aaron, who was born June 15th, 1985. It was nice to have them grow up near Grandma and Grandpa. And of course, their grandparents also were in Fond du Lac, so we had the best of two worlds, four grandparents within a short period of time. And that's important. And I think that's the whole thing why people stay around here, is it's very community orientated.